What I'm seeing is, even though this is what I would deem a very good entry, we're not seeing any real demand, in my opinion, right? We're not seeing people chomp at the bit to get a bounce up. Prices are still relatively close to what I would consider an ideal entry. So when I look at this, I'm like, okay, that means if I do get a bounce, it's gonna probably be a very shallow one. I don't think it's gonna go all the way up here and give me a pointer breakdown short. I think it might not even tap this area. It might just be a little dead cat and then comes back down. So if I'm long, I might want to take profit around 26.5, 26.6 and kind of front run this crowd right up here. And if it comes up here, I have a short play. If it comes back down here, maybe I have another long. Those are my options. And notice how I'm not trying to get every single bit of every single move, because that's a fool's errand. You're not going to hit the top of everything. You're not going to hit the bottom of everything. It's just silly. So yeah, be careful here. I would lean long here given the, the situation that we just talked about. But I would also take profit aggressively because of the lack of reaction that we have here. If this was a strong bid back up, I might change my mind, right? But it looks like it's probably just going to be this, and then it's going to go sideways for a bit, and then who knows. These were our areas. The reason I marked out these areas and not this or this or this or this is because this low came up to this high, right? So I think this level is important. That's my context for it, right? Because this established a low to generate enough liquidity to push up before obviously it mean reverts because there's no additional liquidity. This is grayscale SEC low. So I anticipate prices to be worth bidding somewhere in this zone. Somewhere in this zone, I expect a reaction. And so far we're getting that reaction. What I don't want to see is for prices to close significantly below these grayscale lows. So that's like 25.8 or so. I don't want to see that. If it closes below 25.8, I am forced to probably get the fuck out, because yes, it's still in this area, but we are not getting the reaction that we anticipated. And that's a good sign that maybe we're not as correct as we thought. So it's time to get out for a small scratch. So this was, yeah, oh my God. I fucking nailed this. I mean, I guess I could, a little bit. This is the underside retest of the range highs. I would personally be very careful, guys, because the address that I posted yesterday in the Discord actually started to send, I think like $500,000 worth of cyber onto exchange. And it's very difficult to sell that without nuking prices. Imagine when you look at spot and there's $1 million in 24-hour volume. And you're trying to sell fucking $1 million, like a whole 24 hours worth of volume. Like you would literally nuke that chart 50% if you did that, right? Like you wouldn't be able to do it. At least you'd be able to do it, but just not intelligently, right? What I'm saying is I would not be surprised if you start seeing cyber pick up steam to the downside. Right now, people are still buying because why? It's at support. It's going to be at support. It's going to be at support, right? Joe. So this has tremendous negative funding, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if people are bidding, but I would be more shocked if it doesn't end up trading back down to like 25 cents. I know people are going to bid here. I know you're going to want to bid here. Instead, what I'm going to ask you to do is to counter trade yourself. It's always like, oh, well, this is a retest. No, the better trade here is either a small long into a short if you get a bounce, or wait for a small bounce and just short. Because when these coins start to fall, you want to take every bounce as a shorting opportunity. Similarly, when these coins are going up, you want to take every pullback as a buying opportunity. And unfortunately, in this case, there's not that many pullbacks, right? Like prices just kind of skyrocketed. Like there's one here and there's one here. So you had maybe two opportunities. I wouldn't even put a lot of money into this one, but maybe something like this. If you notice the funding was going crazy. There's BNB. BNB looks like dog shit. Look at this weekly chart. It looks like it wants to go back to like fucking 2-digit coin. So again, this is a testament to why it's important to follow your trade, right? If we got stopped out 218-ish, we would have been massively underwater, 10%. So, this makes for a better short. Even though you're shorting the same level that you basically got stopped out of, now you have context. You have context where, one, this is a bearish retest. It failed to break up. It had another bearish rejection here. So that this time, even though we are, if you want to short this fucking 218, you have a better shot now. And that's how I love to play my trading, where it's like, okay, I lost this trade, but I'm going to get it back. There's another trade. I'm going to make it back with interest. Instead of, I can't lose. It's okay if you lose. The idea is you're going to win sooner than later. Like you're going to win again. And that has saved me from doing so many stupid things like holding a position too long because I don't want to lose. Thoughts on Sol. Sol does not look good. I would be shocked if it doesn't come down to this $15 area again. We see this deviation right here. That instantly tells me like, okay, we are giga fucked. And I just don't see it stopping right here because this makes no sense. With this strong of a reaction, I think this is most likely coming down to even take out these lows. I don't want to say under 10, but I think we'll just be sitting in this fucking range for a little bit. And then obviously in 2024, it'll look like, oh, perfect bottom consolidation, right? You zoom out and it just looks like, oh, look, prices are starting to bottom out. Maybe one sharp spike at the lows and then we start to pick up, right? So that's my take on Sol. I don't think it's a good asset to be trading intraday just because it's not that strong. It's just not that strong. It's a good asset to short. I think Sol and MATIC are very good assets to short. So MATIC retraced its entire pump yesterday basically, and then you even had like a bearish retest right here. MATIC is your coin to short. You should have certain coins too that you put context to, right? Like you see Polygon, the chain is losing volume day by day. Even Donald Trump using Polygon to launch his NFTs couldn't bring MATIC any attention. You see the top projects on MATIC starting to move off the chain. That's a worrying sign for me. And you see the price action and it's so weak, and you see unlocks happening. It's, you know, it makes sense that MATIC is a little bit weaker than usual, and it makes for a good coin for you to short, right? So maybe you never take a long on MATIC and you only take shorts when it makes sense. And when you do this, you added context to this asset. Like this asset is a terribly weak coin, but that doesn't mean you don't have to trade it. This is a great trade to the short side. And then maybe on the long side, you're looking for stronger coins. You're looking for these newer coins that are pumping left and right. And you only play the cartel coins, right? So that would be stuff like Joe, Cyber, and these change quickly. It might be Cyber this week. Last week it was what? LPT? Guess what? All the way back down. Bearish retest on a pump, all the way back down. And I wouldn't be surprised if we just did something like this, all the way back down. These flavor of the weeks are starting to shift to like flavor of every other day or like every 4 days or some shit. Unfile, similar idea here. I don't see any blatant weakness on it. Like it is a little sketch with these, right? But I think people are just piling into these shorts because it's up 30% or it's up 40% or whatever. You want to go in when there's like a significant sign of weakness. So maybe if it loses this area and then it starts to retest like this, or a lower high maybe, that might be a better short, right? But even then, like you kind of want to wait for that climactic push up. Don't rush into an unfi short. And I feel like with these other coins pumping, I wouldn't be surprised if Cyber starts to fall a little bit harder over the next 3 days or so, because liquidity has to be drawn somewhere, right? Not every single coin can pump at the same time, especially when it's orchestrated by a similar crowd. Okay, like let's not fool ourselves here. Okay, like we'll look at Pendle. Like, come on, dude. You're telling me all the Launchpad coins just happen to hypothetically pump at the same time? Was it Arkham? Yeah. You're telling me yesterday all these coins just coincidentally pump? Like, there's some intention behind there. Okay, it's not a coincidence. Just be smart about how you approach these. Somebody said YGG earlier. I don't know what that is, but oh wait, we charted this a while ago, dude. Right here, dude. Oh my god, Jesus, this is a brutal sell-off. I sound like an asshole for even like referencing what happened over here because it's just fucking disgusting. Oh, that's disgusting. But yeah, so that's the nature of these coins. That's why you don't get too attached, right? Because listen, this is Cyber right now, right? This is Cyber right now, and yeah, YGG is the future. It's gaming, it's metaverse, and then Cyber is the future. It's social finance. It's it's the next big thing. It's friend tech all over again, right? Maybe. Or maybe you're probably gonna fall into a fucking ditch along with everybody else who longed YGG because it showed so much strength, right? Like, oh my god, there's so much strength. There's so much strength. Like, this is insane. There's so much strength, it's unreal, right? Until there isn't. And I always try to tell people, if you catch a major pump like this, take profit. Things start getting irrational when you start seeing numbers fly, okay? So if you're playing these and you luck out and you hit one of these home runs, take profit. You might regret it the next day because it's up another 15%, but you're gonna be really fucking happy in 2 weeks when it's back to where it was, okay? I promise you. Oh, Cyber going crazy, dude. Oh my god. line in the sand, I think it breaks this entire structure. Am I being hyper bearish on it? Yes and no. Like, I have just seen that most of these coins do end up breaking this structure. So I'm actually aiming to get out of the position around here. And maybe everything else is a compound opportunity. So if it comes down here and then bounces all the way up here, which it could because of how volatile it is, and it gives another move like this, reshort, right? Reshort on this bounce. Alternatively, if it comes down here and bounces, also reshort. And then, I mean, if it just falls all the way down, then hey man, you can't reshort it because you have no entry, right?